In a new world order, let's put India first to replace a reactive foreign policy. Should India change its reactive foreign policy based on possibly misdirected philosophies? How should be the foreign policy of India in new world order? Is that true? We are going to witness multipolar world in 21st century? How reducing and increasing the leverage exercised by the US and China is affecting the global economy. GS Paper 2, Bilateral, Regional and Global Groupings and Agreements involving India and or affecting India's interest. What is the context about? At China's OBOR inauguration in May 2017, India was a conspicuous absentee. India's rationale was clearly spelt out in terms of its national interest. The world today is unipolar, with China as a challenger. The India-China relationship remains somewhat competitive. Rooted in history and strategic rivalry, it is now also about to Modi-led India offering an alternative narrative of democracy-rooted economic and national strength to China's efficient totalitarianism. Pakistan remains a state with India hating as its unifier. Should India change its reactive foreign policy based on possibly misdirected philosophies? Free trade euphoria has been replaced by a global nationalism. India has also evolved. The economy is one of the better performing ones globally. Despite the red tape, entrepreneurship has begun to flourish. Militarily, India is the strongest it has ever been. Economic and military strength, combined with lack of hegemon ambitions, has made India a key player for ensuring stability, especially in the region. Thus, we have a window to replace a reactive foreign policy based on possibly misdirected philosophies, with one which puts Indian interests at its center. How should be the foreign policy of India in New World Order? The policy should be one that defines where we want to be in the global order and then tenaciously stick to it through temporary volatility. We should replace self-depriving isolation with partnerships. Rediscover strategic partnerships, building on PM Modi's personal impact. The expanded Malabar exercises, the BRICS initiatives and BIMSTEC are steps in the right direction. This cooperation can create a positive momentum overriding other differences. India can step in, project its naval strength and be a stability provider in the near Indian Ocean. In addition to helping regional maritime and trade security, India must give face to its immediate neighbors and make them partners, a contrast to China's dollar-denominated, neo-colonial terms of trade approach. Is that true? We are going to witness multipolar world in 21st century? The 21st century will not be China's century alone, nor will it remain America's. The geopolitical and geo-economic conditions that enabled Britain to become great in the 19th century and claim that century for itself. Building a global empire had enabled the US to emerge as the dominant world power of the 20th century, and it do not exist for China or anyone else today. The unipolar world of the British and American empires was a historical aberration. The digital economy is expected to provide 1/4 of global productivity by 2025 and will have the US, China and India reinforcing the multipolar order. How reducing and increasing the leverage exercised by the US and China is affecting the global economy. Mr. Trump is favoring bilateral deals and forcing others to rethink the nature and role of international cooperation. He sees China as the greatest threat, as the combination of military and economic strength creates a strategic situation where, like in the Cold War, he is exemplified by the failure of the US pivot in containing China. The difference is that Mr. Trump is prepared to limit imports and boost exports even at the cost of upsetting long-standing agreements and allies. Mr. Trump is willing to find new friends and to forge new partnerships where shared interests align.